to a very somber Journeyman podcast. We're recording literally 10 minutes after Ireland's penalty shootout defeat to Slovakia. Don't really know what to feel right now. Finch is obviously so upset that he hasn't joined us tonight, so it's just me and Dan tonight. So there's nowhere else to start, Dan. How do you feel?
Oh, it hurts. It's just like I was watching the game and we were creating all these chances. The game didn't start particularly well. It was a bit dull, but as we went on, I started to really believe. We actually had some good chances. Alan Brown, I think it was, hit the post. Conor Hourihane passed an open goal.
That was shocking. I don't know what he could. I just feel like he just took it so lazily.
He just tapped it, just smacked it, and then we get to the shootout, and I'm like, okay, Randolph, he's going the right way on a lot of these. He's getting close to a lot of these. And then, Alan Brown, his penalty it wasn't a useless penalty, but it wasn't good.
If the keeper goes the wrong way there,
you say no bother.
Yeah. Well,
it's only when he saves it, like, could have been further.
Yeah, and then Doherty obviously made the cardinal sin of missing the target. But at that stage, it was pretty bleak. Like, we needed to score 2 and them to miss. It was all but over, I suppose.
That Panenka penalty really hurts.
Yeah, if Randolph is like 2 inches higher when he realizes he gets to that. Like,
he did so well to recover, and then he was so close.
I thought he had it the way when it was just moved so slowly, and he moved so slowly to get back up. But I thought, like, in terms of like performance in a high-profile game, like in terms of how we actually played, not grinding out a 1-0 win or a 0-0 draw, it was up there with one of our best, I'd say.
Yeah, as in terms of actual football, I thought we were great.
Yeah, like we just so obviously lack a goal scorer. Like McGoldrick, I love him, and he was one of our, after Shane Duffy, I'd say probably our best player tonight. But he's just not a player to be around the 6-yard box like where Hourihane would. Like, he should have been where Hourihane was.
Yeah.
Like,
all the good work David McGoldrick did, which was great work, was done 40 yards away from goal.
Yeah,
because he kept coming back to get the ball, and that's great that he can do that, and it's great to see. But there was no one taking his place up front to actually capitalize on the chances he helped make.
Yeah, I've said it before, and I don't think it'll ever change my stance. He's a striker who needs a partner up front. Like, he can't play up top on his own. Like, he did brilliant work for that Hourihane chance when he ran through 2 of them and then played in Robinson.
That should have been it.
Yeah, that should have been the game. But he's not potent enough to score 5 or 6 goals every campaign or a crucial goal in a game like that. I thought Alan Brown was excellent when he came on.
Yeah.
I thought
he misses the penalty, he hits the post, but he played great.
Yeah, like I think when he came on, we started to really dominate the game. He also missed that chance where he hit it to the keeper's side, and he could have. I feel if he went across, the keeper would have made it. It wasn't an easy chance, but again, a top class striker, you'd hope would
those
put
are the
that
ones
away.
you have to put away. Yeah.
And I don't know with the post. I don't know what he could have done. It came out fast, but I feel like someone would have left.
I've seen a lot of people say that go with the left. I think the effort he created kind of on the outside of the right, it was a clever effort, and I think it was the right move. It's just unfortunate. Like, if he went with his left, I don't think he would have gotten there in time.
You're literally talking inches. It's not like this ball went like.
He didn't scuff it. He didn't try anything too fancy. It wasn't fancy for fanciness sake. It was ingenuity, and it nearly worked out.
I know Slovakia were missing Skriniar, Lobotka, and Dubravka, but Dubravka's not a big loss. Their keeper was decent.
He didn't do anything,
but I thought they were shocking, not shocking, but they were not a level below us, but at least half a level below what we played tonight. They were not good.
Marek Hamsik was great. The rest of them, not so much.
They're so bad, and they were even more impotent up front than we were. Like, they literally got nothing.
Randolph had that one save at the end of the first half, and that's about it.
I was also surprised by that. Like, they didn't add on a minute. That was supposed to end at 45. They had a corner at 45-10, and they broke. So that should never have happened anyway. And then they had that one that Doherty misjudged, and then Duffy cleared off the line.
Oh, God.
Outrageous.
Yeah. Brilliant from Duffy, though.
Yeah. And then, obviously, the bizarre nature of this night when 8 different playoffs were taking place meant that 3 penalty shootouts, all involving Great British and Irish teams, took place at exactly the same time, and unfortunately, the two teams that are neighbours had better luck than we did.
They both got
I
their
don't really care
wins.
about Scotland. I am absolutely livid that Northern Ireland have won a football match. I hope that Slovakia pummel them. I hope that they never play football again. And that's really, I cannot stomach the thought of Northern Ireland qualifying, playing games in Dublin. It's just,
Oh man,
it's unfathomable. I just, no, I actually don't
I'm
want to think about it.
I'm happy to see Northern Ireland do well as long as we're also doing well. At least then
Yeah.
I can sit on my high horse and be like, oh, I'm happy for them, but this hurts.
I like to do slightly better than them, just so like
Yeah.
we have it. But at this, like, this will be unbearable. And I think the fact that we would have been playing Northern Ireland
Oh, it would
in a
have been
playoff,
perfect.
like, in one way it would have been bittersweet because there would have been no fans. And like James McLean got to Windsor Park in November,
Yeah.
poppy season, with no fans. It seems like the biggest missed opportunity of all time. But it's all dream work now because it's not going to happen. I think they have a very good chance of beating Slovakia.
If it's the Slovakia we saw tonight, absolutely.
But I suppose
it's 5 weeks away, so Skriniar will be
and
back.
they will have Skriniar, and Lobotka, who seems to be decent for Napoli too. But I don't think defending really is their issue. Like, Skriniar coming back will obviously shore up the chances maybe that we would have gotten tonight, but like, it's going forward where they are just as bad as we are. So I don't see them causing Northern Ireland many problems. They're going to sit in and defend like they always do. They're very good at it, and I feel like they have a very, very good chance, probably more than 50% of knocking Slovakia out. We should have knocked them out tonight, and I feel home advantage home advantage doesn't really make any difference.
You're still there though, yeah. It is a massive missed opportunity for us though.
Yeah, this is such a chance. Like, I would have fancied us to beat Northern Ireland.
I would have fancied us to beat Bosnia too.
We did it 5 years ago when Dzeko and Pjanic were more at their peak than they are now. So I would have hoped that we'd be better.
I mean, that was the kind of the magic of the night and all. It's exactly 5 years on to the day from Shane Long against Germany. Yeah. It felt like we were doing it.
I feel maybe they could have brought Long on earlier to actually partner McGoldrick. Like, they only brought him on as a replacement. McGoldrick was starting to look fairly visibly tired. I feel
like the McCarthy injury might have messed up some substitutions.
Yeah,
because I was hoping to see Jack Byrne. I thought he could have done a job.
Although, to be fair, McCarthy was pretty anonymous, but he was all right when he was there.
He was
I thought Hendrick and Hourahan, I thought, were good.
I thought
Hendrick gave the ball away.
He gave it away, but I think that was his best game for Ireland since 2016.
Yeah, I think so too.
Really good.
Since the Italy game in the year 2016.
I mean, I think we said it a couple of weeks back when he scored for Newcastle that, like, on this show, that he's best when he plays further forward like that. When he's not one of these kind of sitting midfielders, and his link-up play with particularly Doherty and Robinson was really good. I thought Robinson was good too.
In the first half, especially, I know there wasn't a lot happening in the first half, but I thought he had the beating of their left back. I'm not going to pretend to know that I've memorised their playing. But I thought, like, there was a lot of times he gotten inside him. His crosses could have been a little bit better, or his final products, but like, he definitely had the beating. And then they changed it to him on the left, and I think it was Brady on the right.
Brady came on, yeah.
I don't think Brady had this. Brady is a disappointment to me. Like, he was everyone's golden child after Euro 2016. Everyone expected him to kick on, and he just injuries and loss of form and everything else in between has just kind of hampered him since then. He hasn't kicked on.
I think he's also he's not. I wouldn't say he's not a team player, but he's every time he gets the ball, he's going to shoot.
Yeah, there was one, I can't remember it now because the game's a bit of a blur. I haven't even looked at the analysis. Presume you haven't either. But there was one moment, I think it was at the end of normal time, in the 90 minutes, and he had the ball on the edge of the box, and there was a couple of options, and he took this shot, and
he dragged it like 10 yards wide.
It so badly wide. Like, just could have tried to slip someone in. Like, but I think he fancies himself as the hero a little bit.
Like, before that, we had that free kick that he came close on, but Duffy and the lads were all up there ready for it. Like, knock that into the box. Duffy had the beating of them in the air all night. Like, give him the shot.
I think that's the biggest. Well, obviously losing is the biggest disappointment, but the biggest disappointment of our performance was the delivery from set pieces was poor. Like, we had 6 or 7 corners, and I don't think one of them was won by one of our players. I don't think any of them, even if they were won, were in any way danger.
Anytime we came near the ball, we seemed to also be fouling the opposition in some way.
Yeah, the most bizarre one of them was when Duffy got punched in the face
He got
by the keeper,
clattered.
and a free kick was given to the goalkeeper. That was
It's
pretty
the
bizarre.
it's the natural progression of the whole keepers getting too much protection thing.
Yeah, literally, what can Duffy do there? He's going
Yeah.
for a ball and gets punched in the face.
Just let it play on, like.
No, I'd be very encouraged for the future if that's how we're going to play in campaigns under Stephen Kenny in big games, and I'd fancy our chances of not beating the first seed. Obviously, we don't have maybe beating them once, but not coming ahead of them. But I'd fancy our chances of coming ahead of any second seeds we came up against.
It's weird because it right now it is massively disappointing, but you're right in that there are encouraging signs here. It's not Martin O'Neill, it's not Mick McCarthy. There's something positive going on.
And even Mick McCarthy was like a step in the right direction. Like the games against Denmark and Switzerland, they did try to play football when the very few occasions they got the ball, but this was much more advanced possession-based football.
And I'm not sure what happened tonight with Aaron Connolly. He was supposed to be on the team sheet and then he wasn't.
So there was a rumor flying around of a WhatsApp screenshot. It's been debunked already, but apparently loads of people believe that Connolly and Ida were the first two names on the sheet, and the FAI had omitted their names when selecting them for UEFA. But that's not what happened. Apparently they were both in close contact with a first team coach who contracted COVID.
Okay.
They had to be left out for that.
I was hoping to see Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, he would have just been such a nuisance. Like,
he's the exact type of forward you want to play off of David McGoldrick.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the one you want making those runs in behind and bouncing off him.
And James McLean, like he's good for working back, but he's such a one-trick pony going forward. Like literally the same. Like he's a poor man's Antonio Valencia, and it's just the same thing. Like shift to the left and try and whip a ball in.
He didn't do anything all night, and then you see he does give the ball away. He runs up the other pitch. He compounds his error by blasting through the back of a Slovakian and getting a yellow card.
Yeah,
you can see that tackle coming a mile away.
Yeah, Connolly would have been the better option there, even coming off the bench on 60 minutes, like to have him.
Yeah, with his energy. Yeah.
I would not fancy it, and Ida would have been a decent player to bring on too.
Disappointing, obviously not have Seamus Coleman too.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we had done a podcast before this, we would have talked. Would we dare to go to a 5-3-2 with Coleman at centre back? But that was never necessary. But I think defensively we're pretty solid throughout. Even Doherty, he had that one mistake
that Duffy helped, but he was fine.
Yeah. And I thought Stevens was good going forward and defensive. I think they're hard to find many faults of that performance. It's lacking on the goal.
It's so rare to say. To look at a game like this and say Ireland were the better team. Like we were some missed chances away from winning it. You never get to say that about Ireland. It's always like, oh, we should have been battered, or we were lucky to come away with a draw. But it hurts.
Yeah, it really hurts, and it's almost typical of the Irish rugby team in this performance. Like played well and lose, like it's like a gallant defeat, and I fucking hate it. Like
they
could ever claim that they're brave and shit. Oh my god,
they won't get the same press, I bet.
No, it's tough, and now having nothing to look forward to. Like they have two more internationals.
Oh, I do not give a shit about these Nation Leagues game at all.
Like you've got Wales on Sunday. Wales who've just been pummeled by England's reserves. Yeah. Wales don't have Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale. Like there's literally no pull factor to any of this. And Finland away. Like, who gives a shit? Oh my. The only thing is trying to get a place in the qualifiers for the World Cup. But
yeah. There is also like the larger thing of, should these internationals really be going through right now, particularly friendlies?
Yeah,
like so many players are getting sick right now.
Yeah,
and it just seems ridiculous to be sending them all over Europe like this, particularly for games that don't matter at all.
You could have up to 11 different clubs represented on a pitch, probably do in most cases, at least 8 or 9, and you're mixing them from all over Europe, like literally. Okay, Ireland are obviously all English based and from Scotland, but like from most countries, they'll have players coming from all over Europe. And I completely understand. I don't usually. I think when club managers try to pull rank over international managers and say, okay, you can't play here, you can't play there. I hate that, but I can understand it now because they're already in a congested schedule, and then UEFA adding in an extra friendly to make it a 3-game international break just does not make any sense
Yeah.
at all.
I'm fully with you there, and I don't like when managers try to do that to save a player's fitness. Like if you care about your player's fitness, you rest them. But in this, like there's a virus going around, and it's obvious how it's being spread.
And these players are obviously like you saw Bayern lose to, was it Hoffenheim?
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was Hoffenheim.
Literally looking absolutely jaded, like from literally
Yeah.
playing basically every week since June or May, whenever the Bundesliga came back.
Yeah.
And then you're told to go play 3 games. It could be all over Europe. Like Ireland are going to Slovakia, back to Dublin, out to Finland. Like, what is the point in that? Like,
oh, it's such a mess. I can see the same talk in 3 weeks' time about another talks of null and void and postponing seasons and stuff if this picks back up, because like players weren't getting sick themselves nearly as much at the postponement of last season as they are now. And and last season they had to continue it because it was so far in. This is only 3 games in. We could easily see a big postponement, if not a complete cancellation.
I just don't see how they can contain it. Like, and it's so unfair to the clubs that have an outbreak. Like, okay, so we were the benefactors today when.
With Skriniar out and the others, yeah.
Like Slovakia lose 3 of their first team players. I suppose it's the same thing as an injury, but it's an injury through no fault of the players, or like the players can do nothing about it. So it is a bit like what happens in a whole team.
Yeah, hamstring injuries aren't contagious.
Like, yeah. So, like, say Liverpool playing Everton and
Liverpool already have 4 sick players. Yeah.
Yeah. So what if they've passed it on to another 3, and then another 2 come back from the international break, and they have no starters?
Yeah.
Like, at what stage are you allowed to postpone a game on compassionate grounds like that? You can rearrange it, like, rather than forfeit it.
I think if we start seeing every team, not just like Liverpool have, I think at least 3 right now: Tsimikas, Mane, and Thiago. It's up in the air about Alisson. I think that's actually just a shoulder injury. But if we start seeing a bunch of teams with 3 or 4 illnesses per, they're gonna have to, like, the FA are gonna have to step in and do something for the players' safety more than just the integrity of the game. Like, yeah, you can still play a match missing 3 players, but players aren't gonna feel comfortable doing this if their teammates are all going down.
Did you see what happened with England's under-19s against Scotland today?
No, I didn't.
England were 3-1 up at half time, and officials came into both dressing rooms like, this is called off, because one of the Scottish coaches tested positive and only got his results back during the match. So everyone had to, like, when that starts to happen, you wonder if it's going to affect more people.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
More clubs.
Yeah, they like, you can't just keep sending these lads all over the country when they know there's a great chance they're going to get sick. They're not going to be happy about it, and it's I think, like, again, I don't want the season to be postponed because I love football and I was miserable without it for those few weeks. But at some point, you have to just do it.
I think the international break should be the first to go, and if you're going to go ahead with the playoffs, that's fair enough. Get them out of the way. That's 1 game. But I was shocked when they announced that the Nations League were still going ahead. Like,
absolutely, straight fuck the Nations League. I hate it.
Like, it's a glorified friendly tournament.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. Like, I want Stephen Kenny to experiment as much as possible. It's basically 6 opportunities to test your best 11.
Yeah.
And obviously it benefited us tonight because we got into before tonight, because it got us into tonight, but not through any ability. I mean, we picked up 2 points out of 12 in that group. So it's UEFA just getting notions about their own ideas and trying to keep them going. It just makes no sense.
No one cares about international football in games. Like, no one that isn't either from Ireland or Slovakia watched that game tonight.
Yeah,
they just don't care. And there's no point in trying to, like, make it seem like they do. People don't even bother watching the group stages of the World Cup sometimes now when they don't see it, when they don't see Ronaldo or someone playing, like, and yet they want to make all these tournaments bigger too.
And, like, you're trying to let in the likes of Georgia and stuff into the tournament as well.
Like,
makes no sense.
Obviously, increasing the size of these tournaments, again, it helps Ireland, but for what reason? It doesn't do anything. It's no one cares.
It waters down the actual quality of the tournament too. It meant a lot more to qualify for a 32-team World Cup than it will for a 48-team World Cup. Like, it's
exactly, yeah. We celebrate qualifying for the World Cup. We're not going to celebrate if we just get in automatically and then get 2 points.
I'll still celebrate.
No,
if we
yeah,
get
we'd
in.
celebrate 2 points.
What's it called? I've seen reports on Twitter. They're just rumors and speculation that this UEFA tournament next summer, the Euros, like the idea of it just won't be able to go ahead, and that they will have to just do what they did with the Champions League and have it in one bubble kind of. They'll have to do away with this 12 country thing, and I can see where they're coming from with that as well, because the idea, even if it's half under control, of letting 12 different countries host 20 different countries or nations, just makes no sense.
It's the worst time to try and do this.
So in a way, it might be good if that happens, because then Dublin would be, or like that, this would be deferred to 2024, and Dublin would then get its games, and then Ireland might get its games at home.
But no, I don't know how. Like we thought, back in March, we said the virus will be done by July, and we said September, and it's just we could still be in the exact same situation next summer, and we still won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, really. Like if the Euros go ahead without fans, or even at 30% capacity, it just won't feel like whatever about the Premier League, but like an international tournament played behind closed doors won't feel quite right. And I wouldn't be as upset as I am right now if it went behind closed doors. It just wouldn't feel like the Euro 2016 vibe.
Club football hurts, but club football is played every single week of every year. These tournaments
are a lot more.
These tournaments are 3 weeks every couple of years,
and they're always great fun. And
it's as much a community. I mean, all football is as much about the community as it is about the game, but particularly international football.
Yeah, like they literally get paid like minimally, like for playing. Like that's what you like. It's like going back to the roots as much as you can go in professional football.
Yeah.
It's very tough to stomach tonight, and I can't get any way enthusiastic about the 4 games to come this year. Like coming into November now, it's going to be so depressing coming into the next, and like and like the much maligned international break, when it disrupts the club football and everyone hates it. But like when there's a big game on with Ireland involved, you don't really care that much.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one. I didn't mind the international break, but
I will absolutely mind the international break in November, when we have Wales away and Bulgaria at home to look forward to in the Nations League. Like it's just like coming into a game with Northern Ireland to qualify for Euro 2021 would have made the next international break tantalising, and now it's just like
we're pausing a season for a friendly, like
and it makes it worse that I have to watch. Well, I'm not going to watch Northern Ireland, but I have to observe.
To hear about it. We'll probably end up talking about it, unfortunately.
Fuck's sake. Like, all power to the Scots. I hope they beat Serbia. We don't like the Serbs, but like, fucking Northern Ireland, if they qualify.
It hurts, and we should have been the ones to put them out.
Yeah, it would have been great. Like again, it would have been bittersweet without any fans. Like that kind of game deserves a crowd. But then the other thought is if it does go ahead in Dublin and Slovakia were to beat Northern Ireland, you have Slovakia versus Poland and Slovakia versus Sweden in Dublin. And even if fans were allowed into that, is that game going to sell? Like, I don't think either. Well, Swedish. I just don't think there would be any interest in Dublin. It would almost be like there's no game going on. Amongst the Irish people, like there's literally zero interest in that. Like
they just wouldn't care,
So, well, anyway, it's a discussion for the future. Was there anything else of note that happened in Iceland won against Romania? I think that's to be expected.
Fair play.
Hungary beat Bulgaria. Again, don't care. I think Serbia beat Norway is a bit of a shock. With Haaland, they looked so good against Northern Ireland last month.
So Serbia didn't start. Is it Milinkovic-Savic?
They didn't start him, did they?
No, and then he came on and scored within a minute of coming on, and then scored again in extra time. So I have no idea why they didn't start him.
It's fairly controversial, to be fair. I was slightly surprised to see Kosovo losing pot 4. I thought they would have walked qualification from pot 4. So now one of Macedonia or Georgia, and that is quite ironic that Georgia, who finished below us in qualifying, could actually qualify for the Euros, while we don't qualify.
I'm sick of Georgia. We're always playing Georgia. I'm tired of
it. And it is funny that Macedonia or Georgia will end up in a group with Portugal, France, and Germany. So that will be it should show up the failings of opening up the tournament to lower ranked teams like that. Like you're literally opening the gate for one of the minnows of Europe to come into a tournament and then putting them in a group with three of the best teams in Europe.
They just get
It's got to be a
battered.
shit show.
I think that's all the international talk we can think of. Anyway, is there anything else?
Yeah.
Any other football
I don't think
news?
so. I think we'll park club football for next week for the
Yeah,
glorious.
I don't think neither of our teams played last weekend. I'm pretty sure.
I think we're going to have to discuss that next week, Dan. But it might be a bit. It's a lot less hurtful now after watching Ireland. I don't care as much about it. But yeah, we'll dissect the failings of Manchester United and Liverpool next week. I suppose we'll wrap it up tonight because I can't bear to think about that match anymore. I want to erase it from my memory and never watch a game of football again in my life. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Leo McGuinn has hinted at his return. He might be, as Fabrizio Romano says, here we go, confirmed.
Here we go.
We'll see if we can sway Leo to join us. Finch should be back. Scott Howe is absolutely missing in action at this stage.
He's never back. He's never coming.
Yeah,
We're more likely to see Alan McGrain again.
For the OG fans of the show who still remember Owen McGrain from the first week, Scott has pulled an Owen McGrain. So we will be back. We won't be talking about Ireland and Finland and Ireland and Wales. I can guarantee you that. I do not want to discuss them. So we will be looking forward to Liverpool and Everton, which looks like maybe a 6-pointer in the title race. Who knows?
Maybe some Champions League talk next week too.
Champions League returns the Wednesday week or Tuesday week, so we'll be looking into that. And I suppose we'll get to dissecting Liverpool and Manchester United's 5-goal defeats last Sunday that I've been so carefully avoiding. Well, the United one, I've been enjoying the Liverpool one since Sunday.
At least I get to enjoy the United one before the Liverpool one happened.
Yeah.
I got my nice hour.
Yeah. So be sure to check in, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share us on social media, do anything you can to get us some views. We're trying to pay the bills here. And we'll be back next week to talk about football and hopefully a happier journeyman. And to all the Irish fans watching, yeah, this is normal. Get used to it.
Right, see you then.
Good night. God bless. See you later.